Hello, and welcome to One Flesh Sunday.
Saturdays. Yes, today is Saturday, so we're being like sugar and
Life
water.
must be good if I can't even know. I don't know what the days are. Jesus. We are here once again. We were away last week because we had the 154 movement.
Dance concert.
Movement with Friends praise concert. You can check that out on the 154 movement page. That was really good.
Yeah, good. It was good.
But we're back just to chit chat with you, just to talk a little bit about, we're chit chatting, we're talking about ministry, we're talking about, some of the stuff that we go through as we do different things. Shadira is the leader of the Wonderful Movement Dance School.
Yes.
We also do the Avocats Festival. We also have Abba's House. And we live life as if life is ministry on a whole. So there's things that we do that only we know. So the persons that we visit, the persons that we give to, the little things that we do that we think is just a part of who we are. And that's ministry in general. And we're going to be talking and chit-chatting a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as you know, we was not here last week because we had our dance concert. So we're just going to chit-chat with you about our experience in ministry, and we're going to look at an example. We're going to look at our past week. So, as you know, like you say, that we had our concert, and there was a lot of planning that went into the concert, such as, getting the songs together, making sure that the songs flow well. And I don't really do that part. I just I love the end result of that part. My better half does that because he does it well.
Say that again. And what?
Your better half. When it comes to that, my better half, because he does it well. He gets it done.
I am her better half.
When it comes to that. So he makes sure that night program runs smoothly, all the songs flow well, so that we don't have like a jump up song and then a slow song and a jump up song and then it's all over the place and we look like chaotic. Our program flows smoothly. We had a lot of rehearsals. We had some midterm break. The school had midterm break, so I took that opportunity to use it to practice leading up to the event. But it's hectic preparing for an event, let alone a dance recital, because you really have to be present. And I'm not meaning but present virtually. You need to be present in the spirit and body. You need to be present. You need to push energy. You're using your body. So as a dance leader, it's a lot. It can be overwhelming, although it may look relaxing, because I choreograph most of the dance, all the dance. I choreograph all the dance with the help of my husband. We choreograph the dances, then you teach the dancers, then you want them to perfect it well, and sometimes the way how you have the choreography envisioned in mind doesn't come out the way how you expect it to come out, because dancers, even though you teach them how to do a certain movement, they end up sometimes doing it a different way, and usually it's not intentional. So you as a dance leader, like me as a dance leader, I have to push more work trying to get them to do the move exactly how I envisioned it in my head, and sometimes it works out and sometimes not. And that's just the reality. Because like sometimes you can push a dancer to get it how you envision it and they just can't get it. And sometimes you have to, as much as you want to strive for excellence and as much as you want them to get it perfect, sometimes they don't get it. And yeah, he doesn't get it. Guess you want to talk about something? You're watching me like.
I'm listening.
Eh?
I'm listening. I'm being very attentive. You know. I think
It's cold in here.
as a
It's cold
man,
in here.
as a man, you have to be willing and able to allow your woman to lead in her area of leadership. I think it could be difficult for men sometimes.
Yeah.
Some
Role.
for us, Shadira is the leader for 154 movement, and I try to ensure that I respect that. I respect her decisions. I respect her vision, and I'm there to support her in that as the leader, and that is why I have no problem putting together the programs, pushing her in terms of the planning and the execution of the event, because that's one of the things that I'm good at. You know, I'm good at that administrative sort of stuff, and I'm happy to bring my gifting to the vision that she has. You know, for some couples, it might be, you know, that your wife, you have a family business and your wife is the boss, or you have to be in an organization where your wife is the leader. And I think as a man, although we are the head of the home, we have to be willing and able to follow our wives' leadership and even support her with our giftings in, you know, whatever way that we can. So now that is easily said, but it could be a challenge at times, because if you're a person like me who is, I think I envision, I can see things probably 5, 10 years down the road. It can be difficult for me sometimes, you know, providing that support when I tell her, you know, I really think you should do this, and respecting the fact that she may disagree and feel like she should do it a different way. You know, that can be a challenge, but I think it's important to still provide as much as support as you can.
Yes. So he's my support. He is my support tower. But
Well, I'm hungry. Yeah, go ahead.
you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on that. Okay.
Go ahead.
So for leading up to the event, as I said, can be hectic, but it's even more hectic when it's on the day. On the day. Because although you plan, although you inform parents of what they need to bring, what the dancers need to bring, you still get questions, you still get calls. And on top of that, you're trying to prepare for the event. And you're trying to make sure everything is in place. Like for me, preparing for my event is not just the dance alone, it's everything involved in the entire concert. So it's making sure that the dancers get their dance completed, making sure that they dance it with excellence and to their best, making sure that I have the right garments for the right song, making sure that they know what garments that they have to wear. And how I do this, I tell them what they have to bring, all the garments that they have to bring. And I also ensure that everyone has that garment. And if they don't have that garment, I try to have one for them available. And what I also do is on the day I have a schedule where I would stick it up in the rooms where they're dressing. I would stick it up by the entrance of the door. I would stick it up on the wall, and if the room is big enough, I stick it like in different areas. Um, and with that again, my husband, yes, he supports me in that area. All those fine details of planning events, he normally do that because he is the original planner. I just want to just dance, but he is the original planner and he supports me in that. Yeah, you must support system.
Okay. Uh, so I think that one of the important things though in terms of ministry is and working together as a couple is communication. I think
Ooh,
I think that a lot of issues have arisen
we don't get that right a
for
good
us
amount of
over the
times.
years, especially when we're planning things as a couple, where someone forgets to say something or um, we misunderstood something. Um, but it works best when the communication is clear, especially when it comes to expectations. Um, I think we're doing better now, but we've been doing this for the last almost 10 years now.
Listen,
But one of the things is telling your spouse, because we need each other. God put us together to help meet, and part of that is supporting each other in the vision and mission that God has placed in our life. And what is important for that is for us to know, Shadira, this is what you're doing. Kasim, this is what you're doing. And we that communication is necessary because if I'm expecting her to be filling a specific gap and then that gap isn't filled, then that's a really, really big issue. And it's the same thing for her expectations of me. Um, she said I support her and I do this and I do that. If I'm to not do something that she expects me to do, that's going to be a big issue because then something that was supposed to be done, like for example, I did a program and I don't do the program, and we show up for the event and no program is done.
I would
Then
flip.
that is complete chaos,
I would flip.
right?
I ain't gonna be in my feelings. I gonna flip. I'm telling you, I'm gonna flip. Yeah.
So and that boils down to trust as well. That over the years we've developed that trust, and there's um, that communication has evolved to the point where because we know this is what she does and this is what I do. I know an event is coming up. I need to fulfill this. And she would know an event is coming up. She needs to take care of this. So, and I've developed that trust for her now that is um, this is going to be done. I know it's going to be done. I know at the end of the day, not only that it's going to be done, that it's going to be done well, right? So for our events, Shadira usually deals with what I would say is like the hospitality part of it, whether it's food, taking care of, ensuring that any guests that we have are well taken care of and stuff like that. And I play a part, but Shadira is really the one that has that heart for that kind of stuff.
Food. I make sure that the artists are well fed. I make sure they are fed. Anything to do with food when it comes to events, that's my job.
So
I try to do it with excellence.
my expectation is that if it's just a church event, the food sales stuff. My expectation is the food is gonna taste good. It's gonna be well presented. The persons on the outside dealing with that are going to have it taken care of. So for me, I don't think about it. And Shadir would ask me a question about that, and I'm like, Shadir, I ain't even thinking about it.
And that
That
is get me.
is
That
you.
you see in the beginning that used to get me so mad
That's
because
you. I
because
trust you.
no, but
You got it under control.
that used to get me so upset because I would be like, Cassie, do you remember? Do you remember taking all this? I have no idea. I have no idea
I
right now.
got
I have
you.
no idea right
I
now.
got
I just
you.
have to do this, and that used to upset me.
You asked me to move these stuff and deliver them to this location. Ask me, did you move and deliver them? Yes.
No.
Ask me what was in the bag and in that. No, I ain't got a clue. I wasn't checking to make sure you had all your
Or
stuff. In your bag.
I would ask him, right? I would ask him, Cassie, did you okay, can you drop the items for the event, the food and stuff like that? Can you just like fix the table neatly and just put them neatly on the side? Oh, you look my crosses. When I go at the event, the thing just pitched down in the corner. And I'd be like, really? I don't know. I didn't have no time. I was like, Cassie, I told you.
No. No. That was your assignment. And I expect you to fulfill your assignment. Take care of it. You see, when as a leader, I've been accused of what I would say is I've been accused of how do I put it nicely? I've been accused of having too high of expectation or value on the people that I lead. So they've been accused of. I trust the people that I lead too much, or I trust their capabilities too much. Yeah, I've let in their sphere of life, but I believe that people learn and grow based on practice. If I, as a leader, is going to continue to do everything for you, then I am handicapping you more than I am helping you. So if I give you an assignment, I'm going to expect you to do that assignment, and I expect you to learn it, grow it, and do it well. And it's the same for me. If I am serving somebody, I am going to, and they give me an assignment, I am going to take care of it to the point where that leader doesn't have to worry about it, right? And that is my expectation of those persons that I lead. I expect them to take that assignment as if it is their own, to the point where I can trust them to do it and do it with the same heart that I would do it. So it's the same thing with Shadira and food. I expect her, if she's going to be doing it for an event, whether it's her event or my event, that she's going to do it. And she does do it with, this event, she put in the extra touch. And this is one thing about us, when we're doing things,
yeah,
we mightn't get it right the first time, but I guarantee you the second time it's gonna get better, and the third time it's gonna be better than the second time.
And the fourth time's gonna be better than the third time.
We don't. If God has given us an assignment and we think that we gotta keep doing it and doing it, there are limitations that we're gonna have, but we're not gonna let those limitations stop us. Every time we do something, we learn. Oh, we talk about it. That didn't work. Maybe we should do it this way the next time. The next time we're gonna do it that way. Like there's some things that we did this time that we're like, yeah, we should do that, and we did it for this event, and yeah, we're gonna do that for Abacares too, and yeah, it's that's how we work. We believe that life is about constant growth, constantly evolving, and that's movement.
And movement. And we love to do things with a level of excellence. We love to do things with a level of excellence. And um, when it comes to our ministry, whether it's dance or whether it's abacus, whether it's 154 movement or abacus, we try to be as precise as possible, as perfect as possible, and we want people to not just experience what we have to offer. Like, for example, we don't want people to just come and experience like the concert, or when we have a comedy, the comedy. We want them to come and have the full experience from the beginning to the end. So when you come to our event, you should have an experience in every element of the event. You should have an experience from your entrance, when you're sitting, from what you're looking at, food, everything. It should be an entire experience. So that is something to note about our ministry. You suppose that's something you're supposed to note about our ministry is you're gonna have an experience from top to bottom or from head to toe. You need to have that whole experience. So we don't leave nothing go unnoticed. We take note of even the simplest detail of an event that people would leave go unnoticed. We notice that and we make it excellent.
And the thing about it is that we fail all the time.
We fail miserably.
But the thing about it is, and you would hear people, the sussing and the talking, and a lot of times, and a lot of times I'll be like, why don't you do an event? let's leave it right there. Because there's a lot of people that are doing nothing that have a lot to say, right? That's one thing. But it's not easy. One, and we understand where our shortcomings are, and we are honest about it.
Yeah.
And we take constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But those areas that we have made mistakes in, we guarantee you that we are looking to improve in those areas as time progresses. Even in our ministry of Abba's house, where we envision ourselves going is nowhere near to where we are at now. Nowhere near. There's so much that God has for us to do. There's so much that we would like to get done. But there are limitations. There are financial limitations. There's just things that
physical limitations.
Yeah, there's physical limitations. There's things that we cannot get done, but that doesn't stop us from being committed to the assignment God has given us. It doesn't stop us from.
We may slow down sometimes, but it doesn't stop us.
That doesn't stop us from being faithful to the assignment, and it doesn't stop us from being obedient. The reality of the matter is, in Abba's house, in 154 movement, in Abba Kass Festival, in just in ministry and dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, because of these limitations, there are times when we get seriously discouraged and seriously get to the point where we're like, should we continue? Should we keep doing this? But I think that's the reason why we're together, because when I am down, Shadira is there to like, let's go. You got to keep doing this. And when Shadira is down, I'm there, as her support to be like, God didn't say stop. There's still purpose in this. There's still this assignment that you need to complete. And, that's why God says that the race is not for the swift, but for those that will endure. And trust me, you need each other as a couple, and that is why, we are so passionate about this one flesh, because, there's a vision that God has placed on couples that is so significant, that is so important, that you need each other. There's something in Shadir that I don't have, and there's something in me that Shadir that doesn't have. That when we come together, it is dynamic and it is powerful. In our relationship, Shadira would never have envisioned doing dance concerts
Not
and
at all.
dance
No,
recitals
sir.
and stuff like that.
That's gibberish. That was gibberish. It was gibberish.
Uh,
So yeah, like what he said, that was gibberish to me. But in terms of ministry, um, planning events, as you say, he does a lot of susu and stuff like that. For us, because we understand ministry in terms of planning events, and we know all the hell you can go through, and all the stuff that you have to deal with, and all the moving parts, we are very sensitive. I think that's the right word. We are very sensitive to other people who are planning events. And in fact, when we hear someone planning an event, it could be anyone that we hear that is planning an event, especially in Anguilla, they don't have to know us, but we leaders like intercede for them because we know all the stuff that they have to go through to put on an event. Sometimes this event could be a small event and you go and say, oh, this is a small event. Yeah, it's a small event, but small events cost too. You don't know what they had to go through to put on this event. A lot of times, you know, people would call us to do an item or help out, or even a dance school to do a song. I would say, oh, sure, no problem. And, they would ask us questions. Would you like this to be done? Would you like that to be done? And for me, it's like, whatever you want us to do, we will do. We're not going to be a hindrance to you. We want to be more of a help. So if we got to squeeze up in a corner, we're going to squeeze up in a corner. If we got to move on the side, we're going to move on the side. Whatever we got to do to make your life easier. And that's how we see it. And even if you call us to assist, and we don't mind if you call us to assist, we're gonna assist you. We're gonna help you. Whatever you want to be done, we're gonna help you to make your life easier. We don't want to be a burden to you because we know how ministry is.
But for us, that is ministry. I think just offering our gifts as a service to others is something that we do.
And we love doing it. We enjoy it.
And it's not just. I think it's not just for us. It's for the body of Christ. Just this morning, a pastor was asking us to assist him with some work, and we were happy to
excited.
tell him, whenever you're ready. And it happens from time to time when people ask us for assistance. It's something that we enjoy doing. It's our service. It is. It's not for us. It's for other people. And it's not glamorous. Well, I would say it's not glamorous. For some people, it would look like it's glamorous because they see the show and all that stuff. But it is a lot of work. It's a lot of behind the scenes. A lot of people see me because I might come out and I might MC the shows or whatever, but it's a lot of behind the scenes. It's a lot of, for me, it started out, when I started out doing events, it was about showcasing the gifts of others. Really and truthfully. It was about highlighting the giftings that they were in the kingdom and giving them an opportunity to share the gospel in unique and different ways that I find weren't available in Anguilla. I thought, at the time that the gospel needed to be shared in a way that people would be willing to listen to it, in non-traditional ways. So that is how I started to do an event. For me, an event is not just about a show. An event is about providing a platform for reaching persons that you probably wouldn't traditionally reach. for touching lives that wouldn't traditionally be touched. All right. Uh, so, and for seeing, for doing things that wouldn't conventionally be done. So that's why when we do things, we try things that we don't usually see in the kingdom of God. Shadir does dance, but if you look at Shadir's dance, it's different. It's her dancers look different. Her choreography is different.
I can't help
The
it.
brand of the school is different.
I can't help it.
We use graffiti instead of conventional um, art, if you'd say. If you look at the Abacares Festival, that is a festival that is more about outreach than it is about a show. That's why we go into the schools, we go into the prisons, we go into. Um, it's kind of flashy and glamorous for the events, but I tried comedy because I thought it was an avenue that could relate to a broader audience and allow a broader audience to hear the gospel. Um, and that's ministry for us. We talk about ministry somehow more than marriage today, but for Shadir and I, people would see us doing these things and not realize that for us, it's not just a show. It's a purpose behind everything that we're doing, and we have to understand each other's purpose in order for us to push each other forward and be able to accomplish this vision. And our encouragement and our hope, our inspiration for you today is to, as a couple, to be able to see um, the vision and the ministry in each other and allow and assist each other in functioning to your optimum potential.
Yep. What else can I say? What else can I say?
Yeah, there's a little chit chat today about ministry and marriage and what it means for us. Um, um, we we absolutely love. Well, Shadir and I have been saved for a while. We love to serve. I got saved when I was 6.
I saved when I was 9.
Shadir got saved when she was 9. We were serving God before we met each other, and one of the things that we knew about each other was that service was important. And one thing I wanted to touch on before we close is that we had to find that balance between her being passionate about her gifting and me being passionate about the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because we had to
We clash a lot of times.
understand that I had to understand that Shadir is important for me when I'm in and in planning something or doing something. I develop like a kind of a tunnel vision, and there was a couple of years when Shadir had to be like, "Hey, remember me? I'm over here. Hey, hello.
You remember the time?
Hello."
You remember the time when we had to plan? You planned Abacares and the dance recital at the same time, and we had guests on the islands while we had dance rehearsal running. Bad idea, because I ain't had my support system at all, at all.
Yeah.
In fact, he didn't even care. He didn't care about the rehearsals. It was like, that's it. So I know, I learned my lesson. When we have guests come on the island, all rehearsals must end because I would not have that support. So that's a way we try to find that balance, because that was utter disaster.
Yeah. So I had to learn, and now I think after a few years, I've been able to develop that balance where
Yes, you
I
did.
hug my wife. I remind her, that I know you're here. I appreciate that you're here. I
Yes.
appreciate all the things that you're doing. I love you, even in the midst of that. And she has been the one that, and because as I said, I get that tunnel vision, and if it's 2, 3, 4 days that the event is going on, like especially for the Advocates Festival that lasts for a few days, I could get to the point where I ain't worrying about eating. I barely sleeping. And I really appreciate Shadira for like looking after me, like making sure that I eat,
Yes. I
making
I
sure
make sure
that
my man
I
eats.
get some rest.
I make sure he gets some rest. You know what else do for him? Let me tell you what I do for him. When we have events and he have every day he have to go out and go into the prisons and go into the schools, I make sure that he have 2 sets of clothes to wear every day for all those days, right down to his socks. I make sure he has everything set so he don't have to go in the press or nothing. Boxers, marinas, short pants, everything he got set. He don't have to go look for anything because I got him covered from before the event until after the event. So you have to worry
And
about that.
it makes a difference to have that support, trust me. And it makes me fall in love with her all over again because
I hear sweet thing.
it, she knows. And yeah, it's you really appreciate that when you have somebody in your life that understands the vision and is there to be there for you. Because
He does the same
for me, ministry when Paul talks about that I may decrease so that God will increase, I literally go into that mode where I don't care about myself. So it is good to have someone that is looking out for me. And I really appreciate and I love her for that.
He does the same for me too. Now, I like when I'm in my big old red feast dress. Yes, man. I love when you iron all them stuff for me. Yeah. I gotta worry about that.
So, thank you guys for listening. That was our little chit chat, about marriage and ministry. We hope that we can continue to inspire you. And we pray and declare God's blessing over you, God's blessing over your marriage. And we remind you as we do every week to remember to be one flesh like sugar and water.